Berlin, November 1923. A thin fog clings to the cobblestones. You're standing in the courtyard of a factory. The morning chill bites your hands through the worn leather gloves. A 5-ton lorry rolls in, metal wheels scraping on stone, engine growling. The chief cashier climbs onto the flatbed. Bundles of banknotes spill from his hands, into the air, into the hungry crowd. They flutter like giant, deadly snowflakes. You sprint. Not a casual walk. Full throttle, legs pumping, lungs screaming, because your wife waits at the gate with a rickety wheelbarrow. She sweeps the notes into the cart, shoves off toward the bakery, her breath fogging in the cold air. You hear the faint crackle of paper as each bundle passes your fingers. A loaf of bread cost 200 billion marks this morning. By noon, the same bread costs 500 billion. Coffee, newspaper. Every hour, every minute, the numbers shift like sand under your feet. The printing press hisses in the background. Hot ink, steam, hum of machinery. The notes are fresh, wet, still reeking of chemicals. You clutch them anyway, because survival doesn't wait. Here's the question. If paper money can vanish in value faster than you can spend it, what do you hand someone in return? Gold coins? Silver? Or something else entirely? The ordinary German in 1923 didn't have gold in their hands. Most had already surrendered it, voluntarily, years earlier, for iron. And that choice, long before the crisis, would decide who starved and who survived. This sets the stage with tension, sensory detail, and an immediate historical question that hooks the audience. August 4th, 1914, the first day of World War I. The Reichsbank locks the vaults. Gold convertibility suspended. From that moment, Germany's government begins what they call the Gold for Iron campaign. Citizens bring wedding rings, pocket watches, jewelry. In return, iron trinkets stamped, "I gave gold for the defense of the fatherland." Millions comply, patriotic, trusting, unaware they are surrendering their only hedge against the chaos to come. Fast forward 9 years. Berlin, 1923. Bread costs 200 billion marks a loaf. A single subway ticket? Billions. Savings accounts, insurance policies, war bonds, all meaningless paper. The middle class, doctors, civil servants, teachers, had played by every rule. Bought war bonds, paid insurance, trusted institutions. And yet, when the hyperinflation hit, their nominal security evaporated. Maximilian Bern, an elderly Berliner, withdraws 100,000 marks, once enough for a comfortable retirement. He buys one subway ticket, one. Life's work gone. Meanwhile, those with foresight, or luck, survived. Wealthy industrialists had quietly hoarded gold and foreign currency. They didn't hand coins to bakers. They moved their assets across borders, converted to stable units, exchanged them hour by hour. Foreign banknotes, US dollars, Swiss francs, French francs, became the functional currency of survival. A British ambassador in Berlin reported that nearly every German he met was speculating in foreign notes. For most ordinary Germans, though, the gold was gone, not seized violently, donated voluntarily 9 years earlier. And the paper marks? They lost value faster than anyone could spend them. Hour by hour, loaf by loaf, the currency shrank in real purchasing power. This is the problem. Hyperinflation is not a single crash. It's a slow, relentless grinding down of trust, of savings, of security. And it doesn't just punish the poor. It destroys the educated, the cautious, the law-abiding, because while you follow the rules themselves are eroding beneath your feet. 1. Private barter, gold, silver, and personal property. Berlin, January 1919. Anna Eisner, a Viennese widow, opens her diary. She writes, "I traded my late husband's gold watch chain for 4 bags of potatoes. No shopkeepers, no official prices, no change given. Just 2 people agreeing on value." The market had stopped recognizing paper marks. The currency was dead. Gold, silver, personal property. They were the only units of trust left. In rural areas, the pattern repeats. Wedding rings for milk, family silver for rye, paintings for butter. Farmhouses filled with pianos, crystal, leather-bound books, city families trading possessions for food. The paper mark? Refused, useless. Cause to effect to mechanism. When the official unit of account collapses, Commerce reorganizes around items with intrinsic or perceived value. Barter is slow, localized, and requires mutual agreement. It doesn't scale easily, but it provides immediate survival, especially for those cut off from foreign currency. 2. Conversion to parallel currencies, the US dollar and foreign notes. Hemingway, September 1922, crosses the Rhine from France into Germany. 10 French francs, 90 cents in Canadian currency. He spends the day. By night, he has 120 marks left. Every transaction accounts for the exchange rate. Foreign banknotes become the de facto currency. Millions of Germans hoard US dollars, British pounds, Swiss francs. Why? Stability. Unlike the mark, these currencies hold value across borders. Cause to effect to mechanism. German marks collapse. People convert paper marks to foreign currency at unofficial rates, then transact using these notes. This allowed the middle class to retain purchasing power, even as the mark decayed hour by hour. The lesson: survival often depends on parallel, stable units of account, even if unofficial. Those without access, ordinary citizens, cannot escape the grinding effect of hyperinflation. 3. Commodity indexing, pricing in real-world units. Oldenburg, 1922. Local authorities issue bonds denominated in bushels of rye, not marks. Crop steelworks in Essen pay workers in crop marks, convertible into food. Kilowatt hours of electricity, cubic meters of water, tons of coal, these units remain stable when the mark collapses. Cause to effect to mechanism. Official currency loses meaning. Commerce must reference units that hold real-world utility. Pricing in commodities allows economic activity to continue. Those who anticipate the collapse and price assets in real units avoid losses, while those fixated on paper lose purchasing power minute by minute. 4. Speed, immediate conversion and short holding periods. Berlin, 1923. Sebastian Hafner recalls his father's payday ritual. Salary arrives. They don't hold paper overnight. Haircuts first, then transit passes. Whatever remains, immediately converted into goods or stable assets. Paper money is a token, not a store of value. Delay is destruction. Cause to effect to mechanism. Hyperinflation is exponential. Every hour of delay erodes purchasing power. Those who treat wages as savings are destroyed. Those who convert instantly survive. It's a lesson in operational tempo. Fast action beats hoarding in a collapsing currency system. 5. The role of gold, hoarding versus spending. Gold coins, the 20-mark pieces, retain absolute value. One 20-mark gold coin in 1914 buys the same basket of goods as one in 1924 after stabilization. Yet most ordinary Germans spent paper, hoarded gold. Gresham's law in action: bad money drives out good. The wealthy industrialists and international operators quietly hoard gold. They convert it to dollars, acquire real assets, and protect their wealth. By contrast, ordinary Germans, trapped by patriotism, trust, or ignorance, hand over savings to banks or institutions and lose. Example: Hugo Stinnes borrowed billions in marks during collapse, bought coal mines, shipping lines, factories. Profits stored in gold abroad. Repaid loans with worthless paper. End result: massive asset accumulation, preserved wealth. Not by handing coins to bakers, but by acting strategically in advance. 6. Survival outcomes by strategy. Private barter leads to immediate survival, localized, small scale. Foreign currency conversion leads to medium-term stability, cross-border flexibility. Commodity indexing leads to preserves value in essential units, allows sustained economic activity. Speed/operational tempo leads to prevents rapid value erosion. Gold hoarding leads to long-term wealth preservation, but requires foresight and access. In every documented hyperinflation, the principle is consistent. Real utility, stability, and timing matter more than the nominal asset itself. Those who prepared, acted fast, and understood the operational mechanics survived. The cautious but uninformed perished. Germany wasn't unique. Hyperinflation repeats its own lessons, almost like a mechanical pattern. Austria after World War I. Hungary, 1946. Zimbabwe, 2008. Venezuela, 2016. Different continents, different decades, same rules. In Austria, people hoarded wedding rings and silverware to trade for food, just like Berliners in 1923. Farmers accepted jewelry for rye. Paper shillings collapsed. The mechanism was identical. The currency lost trust faster than the printing presses could issue it. Those who acted quickly survived. Those who waited perished. Hungary in 1946. Pengo inflation so extreme that daily wages became worthless by evening. Citizens transacted in commodities, grain, livestock, even firewood. Foreign currencies circulated where available. Gold coins were hoarded, rarely spent. Timing and speed defined survival. Zimbabwe, 2008. Hyperinflation made the Zimbabwean dollar effectively useless. US dollars, South African rand, and other foreign currencies became the functional medium of exchange. Farmers priced goods in maize or liters of fuel. Citizens abandoned local currency for stable units of value, repeating the exact model observed in Weimar Germany decades earlier. Venezuela, 2016 onward. Believer loses value faster than people can spend it. Shops price items in dollars, cryptocurrency, or barter goods. Households adapt by converting income immediately into stable currency, food, or real assets. Gold is hoarded, but rarely used for day-to-day survival. Across all cases, the pattern is clear. Hyperinflation punishes delay, punishes trust in collapsing institutions, punishes reliance on paper currency alone. The recurring strategies, barter, foreign currency, commodity indexing, operational speed, hoarding stable assets, appear in every documented hyperinflation, with local variations in execution. The lesson: these are predictable operational responses, not random improvisation. Studying Germany 1921 to 1923 is not just history, it's a template for understanding the dynamics of trust, value, and survival when money fails. Across time and place, those who recognize real units of value, move quickly, and anticipate instability are consistently the ones who endure. This section draws parallels across multiple hyperinflationary crises, reinforcing the universality of the survival mechanisms. The forensic record of Germany, 1921 to 1923, doesn't just tell a story, it teaches rules for survival when money loses meaning. First, trust is conditional. Germans who relied entirely on banks, life insurance, or bonds, paper promises, were destroyed. Institutions can fail, sometimes silently. Do not assume stability. Understand it. Second, real units matter. Gold, foreign currency, staple commodities, items with intrinsic or internationally recognized value, preserve purchasing power when local currency collapses. Survival depends on recognizing what holds value before the crisis arrives. Third, speed kills or saves. Every hour of hesitation erodes wealth during hyperinflation. Immediate conversion, rapid barter, and operational awareness are decisive. Treat paper money as a transit medium, not a store of value. Fourth, diversify units of exchange. Relying on one asset type, gold, silver, or a single currency, is risky. History shows those who combine strategies, holding gold, accessing foreign currency, using commodities, consistently outlasted those who didn't. Fifth, foresight over reaction. Survival was rarely about the right coin at the counter. It was about planning, anticipating instability, and acting before the collapse became obvious. Hugo Stinnes borrowed collapsing marks to acquire real assets. Farmers priced goods in rye. Ordinary citizens hoarded jewelry. All succeeded because they understood value and timing. In modern terms, these lessons translate into risk awareness, liquidity management, and adaptability. Focus on assets that hold value, maintain the ability to move quickly, and don't assume historical stability guarantees future safety. The patterns repeat across centuries and continents. Study them, anticipate, prepare, and act with clarity before the moment demands it. This section connects the historical analysis to practical principles for today's readers or viewers, emphasizing preparation, speed, and units of real value without prescribing specific investments. Berlin, 1923. The wheelbarrow heaped with paper marks, the bakery line snaking down the street, the printing presses hissing in the distance. That was the reality of hyperinflation. Money evaporates faster than you can spend it. The forensic record shows who survived and why. Speed, real units of value, diversification, foresight. Those who relied on institutions, trusting that paper or promises would suffice, lost everything. Those who understood value, acted quickly, and anticipated instability endured. History repeats itself. From Austria to Hungary, Zimbabwe to Venezuela, patterns persist. Money can fail, trust can evaporate, and the right asset in the wrong moment is useless. The lesson is clear. Observe, anticipate, prepare, and act before crisis strikes. Understand the mechanics of survival, not just the assets themselves. The past is a guidebook. Read it carefully.